Hey guys, here to update with what happened last week in the Volunteer Fire Academy. So we did have some people that were retesting. We were going through that for our Firefighter 1 certification test. So everybody's done with that. We just have one more test in about 2 weeks here. And because we only have about 3 weeks left of the academy. So we're really getting close to the end here. We did some really fun things yesterday, but we'll get to that next week. So last week we covered fire inspection. So there's some pictures of just we went around with the documentation that you would have to do some fire inspections, and we heard from some people who do those fire inspections on as part of their job on how we would go about that, walking into a building, checking things off, the importance of different things, why they look for certain things. So that was really cool to get that that knowledge. And then we covered drafting. So some areas, especially Northwest Indiana, especially in more of the rural areas, they don't have fire hydrants everywhere. And so some engines, or some fire departments have a tanker truck that can carry, 3,000-4,000 gallons of water. Where I volunteer at Liberty Township, we have the largest tanker in Porter County, I believe, and it's 4,000 gallons. So compared to like a normal engine would have maybe 700 to 1,000 gallons of water on it. So so there's a really big fire in an area where there's not a hydrant available. They'll call a tanker plan, and all the tankers will come out and they'll have the water on them. And they usually dump it into these big pools. Like we have a couple pictures of the giant pool, tank, whatever you want to call it, out here. And it was filled up from the hydrant here, but the tanker trucks will go by, dump the water into that, and then that's what will be then used. There'll be a hookup into that tank, and then the fire hose will hook up to that, and that's what will pump the water into the, and for the firefighters to use. But you then have to refill that tanker truck, and sometimes if it's a long enough fire, big enough fire, those tankers, there was one in Porter County, I think in January, where all the tankers were lined up to go one by one and drop their water into those pools. Multiple pools were set up, and then they left there after dumping the water, went to an area where there was a fire hydrant available, filled up their tanker truck, and went back and got back in line, and just they kept doing that. So it's really cool to see how that works. We were able to see how to set one up, how to take one down, and how to connect all the hoses into it. In some communities and in some really emergencies, they can actually put the tanker can put a hose into like a pool or even a pond, retention pond, or any kind of body of water, and actually pull the water from there. So we were able to talk about all that and then learn about that. So but it's really cool to see. And again, those tanker trucks are really big, carry a lot of water, and it's important to have those available to get to fires where hydrants not available. So we got to do all that. That was pretty cool. We'll show you some pictures, and then we'll be back next week with another update. We're getting towards the end here, so there's just a few more updates to go and some really cool things that we're doing now. So we'll get back to you next week.